Hello from St. Paul the Cross Retreat Center. We're getting ready to celebrate the second week of Lent, and much is happening here on our campus. We have the restoration work happening in our rotunda and in our library. Lots of activity here abounds, but the activity that we're most focused on is the activity of our hearts. And in the season of Lent, how we turn our hearts to God is really the renovation, the restoration that God is inviting each of us and all of us to. This week we hear, as we hear every year on the second Sunday of Lent, a story of Jesus' transfiguration on Mount Tabor's height. James and John and Peter are taken up that wonderful mountain and see Jesus transfigured in glory. It would have been easy, as Peter says, to build 3 tents and to stay there, but Jesus knows he must leave that mountain to go to another mountain, to that holy city of Jerusalem, to face death, but to redeem the world through his outpouring of love, to give us his witness to how we might live. And as Jesus lived, so we also are called to live with passion, with conviction, to love each other, to love our enemies, to forgive those who hurt us. As we round the corner into the second week of Lent, it's a time for us to think about what parts of our lives do we need God to transfigure. What are the moments in our own lives and in our own hearts that are darkened, that we need God's great light so that we might hear the voice that Jesus hears on that height of that mountain? You are my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. God speaks those same words to us each day, even when we find ourselves unlovable, seemingly unredeemable. God knows that his mercy abounds, and that for each of us and for all of us, this is our moment to return back to God's extraordinary, extravagant, and as St. Paul of the Cross tells us, ingenious love. Might this week help us to climb that mountain with Jesus, to see where he can transfigure the dark spots of our lives, so we might leave that mountain and continue this Lenten journey, and as we do so, restore the parts of ourselves that are dark to God's extraordinary light, to know who we are and whose we are, God's beloved daughters, God's beloved sons. Have a wonderful week.